just the type. I found the culprit. Tell that to Big Mom.
Eggy, Eggy, gone, gone. Baby Eggy, gone. Help! 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 Marge! Marge, no!
They were stolen! The babies! The eggs! Something took them! Big! Big as a cow! Big as a house! And many, many legs! Too many! Horror! Thief! Horrible thief! It came in the night! It took the eggs! It scrambled away fast, fast, fast! If I showed you, you could bring them back! You could bring them back! Map! Show me your map!
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up.
That's where they are! I went after my babies, I sprayed them back!
The kid is whistling an off-key tune as he strolls about shiftily. He raises an eye.
Not too out. Sina, Ben Mesd. Too bad.
The kid shoves his hands in his pocket.
You ever think about running off?
Come now. Is this really necessary?
can't go in there, mister. The Meister isn't home and the Magisters, they was very angry about it. They said mean things about the Meister and they left a mess. She's my friend. She was one of the Magisters once. She was very high up. She used to look for God people and help them. But then she stopped that and just stayed. I'm not allowed outside the village.
She's not so...
When the wind blows from over the stream, I can hear her.
She gives you a look of the darkest meaning. Then she...
Off you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. That lizard there's a sorcerer, and look at her now, strung up by her hands with a death rattle hanging round her lips. Well, I'm a rat. And you're some kind of, just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering... I'll have her eyeball when she's done with it. Won't be long now.
Do you even know what they've done to you? I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me!
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards, one in a Magister uniform.
Step away from the prisoner, reptile!
Please, why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker, and she's a bloody traitor.
Come now. Is this really necessary?
She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her, at least as far as you can trust her, you know, one of you. Anyway, to repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip. You're going to... what, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. Try it and we'll tear your head.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her...
Welcome to Driftwood, Godwoken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very... Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if you were a cow ordered to dance a reel. It is a masterful performance. I would applaud it, but well...
The Meister bares her teeth.
Melody is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path. As long as I am free of this rope.
The lizard grimaces.
I am in intense pain, Kin. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably stupid. Be quick about it, before the Magister realizes their prize catch is about to slip through the net. Excellent. Now, if you'd be so kind as to gut that startled-looking Magister, it would be much appreciated. I must secure my home before they do any more damage.
Prepare yourself!
You are an abomination. A crucif...
There's one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
you are, little egg.
I saw they were stolen. The babies, the eggs, something transformed.
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh, little beaver baby, Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours. Unless some other scratchily poker found it first, of course.
What's this? I found something. You ever think about running off, like Barnby and Sam did?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah. Guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
The kid is whistling an off-key... The kid is whistling an off...
Not to Alcina. Ooh. Want like that.
The kid shoves his hands in his... The kid is whistling...
Not to Alcina. Too bad.
The kid shoves his hand.
You ever think about running off, like Barnby and Sam did?
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe away the grime, but instead smears more dirt onto them.
Halt, Scaleskin. What word do you bring?
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide.
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fedder. You may pass, Lizard. Dare say he'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you've seen. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no Voidwoken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be god-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push the button. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient rooms, weird contraptions. This place is an alchemist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? Just so. To accept divinity is to accept responsibility for the lives of every person and beast that walks Rivellon. If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea, right any injustice. But make no mistake, the Divine has only one duty: to protect this world from the Void. The Divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the Void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard, sauce in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients thrown to... After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated... You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients thrown together... Opening the door, you explore the remaining ingredients.
1、国根の1.5儀式の8に置く。2、黒曜石のメスで自身の血を取り、その上に振りかける。3、8とその中身に火をつける。4、十分なソースがあるか確かめる。5、その煙を吸い込む。6、不明。
you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach up.
Those voices of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
My chosen, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Stubborn as ever, but you will.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
Strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Zolstissa in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Zolstissa nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. Don't you dare to be ungrateful after all I've done for you. I sheltered you. The void itself is hunting down the gods. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing. And should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, you must realize that our fates are now as one. Just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be.
The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source, in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. The void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension. Not to only he who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom, this world's liberator. You understand them to their full extent. The other gods must either bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god Woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, my champion. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your murderous hands. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin and your loved ones, and the world they live in. I promise that yours alone will be the powers of the lake, and to the lake I will lead you. But not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. Until you speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-Woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, my chosen. But if all I had to do was give, you would long since have received. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon, and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. And so much more. But I'm no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. Something that'll make you understand. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you... Best of luck.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? You may well have that potential, but at the same time, I don't trust you to tie your bootlaces without accidentally so we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only Source Masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets, sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the path, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows, and if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be...
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not God-woken, but in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke, and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot...
The spirit looks at you.
It is hard to hear of such power, and not covet it for yourself.
That don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
This town doesn't look much equipped to entertain a nobleman like myself. Pity.
My inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more. Hell with them. We need those reports, Captain. Right.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want, lizard? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Manchesters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Good to hear someone cares about our missing uniforms. If we don't find the culprit soon, I fear we'll lose another good recruit. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. The fiend's greed gave him away. He was peddling items that belonged to those missing from our ranks. He saw my men before they could seize him and fled. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing nobody. No matter, he'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, tell me or my men at once. Understand? There might even be a reward in it for you. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. Well, do you... Stop wasting my time, then. Elson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away.
The Magister's jaw is tightly clenched as he stares out of the window. He senses you.
What?
I'm watching you, stranger. That's Magister business. Keep your nose out of it. That's all you have to say. State your business to Magister Carver.
Bellwether, I need those reports.
Of course, sir. I'm watching you, stranger. I'm watching you, stranger.
Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here? What? Oh, no. Poor Demori. Go tell Magister Raymond or Magister Julian immediately.
head nodding drowsily, the Magister brings her
They won't take me unawares. I'm ready for anything. See? I have accepted it. Well, I'm ready. That's what why whoever's snatching Magisters off the street and disappearing them.
Waving you away, she cranes her... The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already seemed
What? Look around. Would you be happy stuck guarding this blood? The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponches like Raymond and Jonathan.
The Magister shakes his head.
You're wrong there. I've heard rumors of... well, let's just say there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood.
The Magister loses some...
I ain't saying. It's a secret for loyal members of the Divine Order only. Shut your mouth or I'll fling you... I've warned you already, smart mouth. Clear out of here.
The Magister turns to you.
What? Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here. Keep out of it.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself... Still, at least this is an interesting variation. Just when I think this land... Still.
The Magister turns to you with a scowl.
What?
The Magister glances at you like you're something he just...
Keep out of it. That's what I want to know. Stuck here. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the...
A sly smile creeps across the Magister's face.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood. Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here. Keep out of it.
The Magister...
What?
The Magister glances at...
Keep out of it. I'll halve you with my sword if you don't mind your own bit. That's what the new leadership ought to learn.
The Magister shakes his head.
You're wrong there. I've heard rumours of... Well, let's just say that...
The Magister loses some...
I ain't saying. It's a secret for loyal members of the Divine Order only. Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here. Keep out of it. I've warned you already, smart mouth. Clear out of...
Nelson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Oh, please, Lucian, spare me. Oh, please, Lucian, spare me. Occupied! Oh! Oh no! Do I? Oh, that's what I get. Bloody tainted stew! Made us a little... No! Fish! Save me, Luke! What was in that blasted stew?
State your business to Magister Carver, or else get out.
Bellwether, I need those
Of course,
reports
sir.
stamped.
Right away.
I've warned you already, smart mouth. Clear out of here.
Blessings of the divine upon you, good sir. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? In a hurry, are you? On your way to Arks like we are? Oh, we wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. That's so lovely to hear. The more pilgrims listen to me going on and on, even though you told me you haven't the time to break bread with us. Forgive me.
The Silent Watcher's jaws clench and slacken at...
Hey, this news! Fresh many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Figured you'd ask me about that. Ain't looking too good for you, lizards. You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left. Seven, save us. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, low-born trick. Kill them all, I say. Do them like Magister Raymond did old Lady Siva. That'll teach. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the divine is Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no...
Prices are up, and it's your fault. Prices are up, quality is down. Times are tough when it's no thanks to you, lizard.
I'm all right, as long as... Enjoy your freedom while you can, lizard. Your day's coming. Oh...
Keep to yourself, lizard. You're a delicate one, ain't you? Hope the smell don't drive you off.
I think that lunatic Siva is loose again. We won't be so gentle when we catch her. Damn it! Magister Raymond wanted word in the caravan, but I had hope.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. Anything more?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients, and...
vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Come over.
If I don't come visit you, tell me. Who will?
Would you like to know?
Until later, then.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, tell me. Who will?
Would you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yes.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could have at it. Got yourself situated.
Have you anything that would protect against food wipe?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But ride walking? God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Yep.
Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
Look at you. You're all
The little boy looks at
and got you a tail. Don't be rude, Ben. He's a lizard. It's not his fault he's ugly. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Cool. How did...
Lizard, have you seen...
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up sometime.
The truth hurts, but they'll get... Kids are resilient. Tell them the truth.
The children turn to...
See, Ben? I told you so. If Fort Joy wasn't...
Well...
Thank you, Mr. Lizard. Now, if you...
Bye-bye, Lizard.
The kids turn back to the water.
I wish I could swim.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
This fish is ugly.
If there's no work for an honest dwarf like myself, the likes of you don't stand a chance, mate. Best not linger. Your lot tends to rile people up.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
Oh, but yours is not a stink like the one that's around. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? Ah, you've met with what's left of...
He licks his lips.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods, and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. My fate. I'm very good at what I... There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of... I've need of a rat catcher. Of course. I must depart post-haste.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you.
Like I said. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about how very... One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear.
You! The damn recruit! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. A man of stature wouldn't be... But here I am, and now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The out by the Bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man! What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. Raymond, that old goat. Always suspected there's more to the Driftwood Dwarf. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs.
It's wild territory. Remote and hostile. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. In that case, go forth and let the hunt...
Kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horse.
Careful, sorcerer. The reddish-fleshed beasts here won't hesitate to string you up.
only one way. Papa! Yes, yes, yes! He wanders, he roosts. But he is special. He can help people, can keep him safe.
Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching three. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnet, and a jagged wound spilling his innards upon the ground. He reaches a ghostly hand into your chest and squeezes your heart. You become Kinnet, his memories flooding over you and replacing your own. Warmth, comfort. You are Kinnet, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. It's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. Who will invest? You feel the short straw and hear them shout, "Kinnet!" You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember second-hand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. No! Kinnet's tears fall from your eyes as you recognize his beloved weapon master, lifeless. A dark thicket rustles to your left. A claw rakes savage stripes across your guts, staggering back from Kinnet's deathly grasp. Only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eye, as you pluck the short straw from his hands, Kinnet weeps with relief. He looks around, then looks at you, and then he... The spirits of a Magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf spies your presence.
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh?
Provoked indeed. He knows Sorcerer's Law Voidwoken, and he knows we'd all still be alive if he...
Rightly so. Reds had Sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan, and you know where they...
The Magister lunges for the dwarf.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know Sorcerer's Law Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan.
The Magister's shoulders collapse with relief. His burden lifted, his spirit slowly fades to nothingness.
We tried to help your kind, and you'll help those that enslaved you? You're a... I've little to say to one who parleys with Magisters.
The bull flips its ghostly tail at a non-existent...
Well, guess I should have seen that coming. Yep, sure do. Or did, leastways. All bulls can see the future. I'm sure you want to know? Alright.
The bull shakes itself, swallows the card.
You're gonna die. Let me think about that now. So, maybe.
The bull shrugged.
Here. I don't suppose you could do me a favour and unhitch this here harness so as I can make my way to the Field of Echoes.
The bull nods its thanks.
I knew you'd say yes.
Did you find him? Did you find Peeper's papa? Then you'd better be the best mama you can be. Mama!
The shimmering ghost of a kin Magister turns her gaze upon you. She holds your stare, boring into your head. You are Zeushan, a young lizard Magister, devoted to the Order. More than this, you are in love with a comrade, a human man of wit and kindness and sweet disposition, who goes by the name of Boris. You are Zeushan once more. Alexander dies. Worse, your human comrades look at you askance, as if his murder was your fault. Even Boris turns against you. Your heart is broken. Posted to the graveyard shift in the dark of night on the outskirts of town, you do your duty diligently. But your heart is no longer in it. So when you catch a couple of young, you see how deeply in love they are. You do not turn them in. You help them to escape. But in the morning, they are caught and under torture give you up.
I bet you're the musical sort. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. It's like I always said. Everyone's got a melody in him. You just gonna... He's all right then, yeah? That's last law, all right. I hate the Magisters for what they've done. Stole me brother. Stormy heart. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian, come back if you need. I'll be whittling away. Don't let them silence your song.
Up ahead, paladins, the famous divine protectors of Arks. I wonder what they're doing here, so far from home.
Traveler, you are sick at heart and weary of limb. Come here, rest with me in the sun. Everything grows here, tall and strong. Join us. Dear child, you sacrifice too much.
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your chest. Your inner god...
It is awful how she treats you. She asks so much and gives... I am the only one. Don't play her game.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current.
Don't fight it. This is how it's supposed to be. Sleep now. When you wake, it will be in a new world. I am so... Everything grows here, tall and strong. Join us. Dear child.
A great power.
It is awful how... The one who makes demands, of course. The one who
Your god thrashes and recoils inside you. You feel your heart somersault, and a lone word hissed in your inner ear.
No.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a straw. Your legs buckle, then ease you downwards. Beneath warm golden crops is dark. You lie in the darkness and...
Jonathan, how long has it been?
Gareth looks to the limp body at his feet, then to you, sword raised. He isn't quite present, but lost in his own tangled thoughts.
I knew I'd see him again. I wish it hadn't been like this.
Indeed. Yet more than that. His name is Jonathan. He is my friend. Or was my friend. I led him here. I felt someone's gaze on me from almost the very moment I stepped foot on the coast. Lucian taught never to ignore augury. I came here and waited. The door swung open and it was him. A face I hadn't seen since I was called to the Seekers. Now.
Gareth raises his blade and tightens his grip, but falters. He cannot strike the final blow.
You want me to drag a wight across the coast in viewing distance of a dozen magisters and get a tongue lashing from Malady as a reward? I have not lost all sense, I assure you.
Gareth's fingers open and close around his sword's hilt. His breathing slows and his face relaxes, yet his arm remains suspended. Gareth lowers his arm.
Perhaps you are right. Perhaps not.
Before you lies a primitive altar to the Seven. Apparently constructed during a bite, the altar waits for... Before you lies a primitive altar to the Seven. Apparently constructed during a bygone era. The stones appear to be just that. Apart from a few faded red stains across the top, gentle heat warms your hand. The air stirs, as though someone had... A voice rises around you. Its source, God-woken. The word flutters against your ear. A jolting sensation pierces your heart. As the shock fades, the whispers shuffle away and the air shifts. Whatever was...
Behold, it is I, the magic cockerel. Wagwan! What is this? Papa? Papa! Papa?
The rooster looks his son over, first with one beady eye, then the other.
He has my eyes! But I see nothing but the void lurking behind those pretty peepers. Kill him now or he will kill us all later! Papa? Good choice! Good choice! Oh, gosh! And I'll give you a little something. What is it? That's right! Doubt will serve you ill before the magic cockerel. Who knows?
Well, that'll teach me to second-guess a magic cockerel.
Behold, Cocker, be not frightened by my splendor! Why you still go? Aren't you distracted? But that's all you walk up. What is it? Kill the wizard! Careful now, careful, Cocker! None to doctor! Why you? Aren't you that's all you walk up?
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you.
I don't care if we tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
There's a murder on the loose, and you're thinking about your business.
I have rights.
to get her free. I'm all right as long as I don't hurt her too much. You're safe among things. Never forget.
My inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away.
Let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here and everywhere that in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop, as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the divine order of Lucian, is now led by his son's most trusty Dallas, Hammer of the Divine. The Hammer shall take counsel from her most hail to the Hammer.
Dallas leading the order. Lucian will be rolling in his grave.
The dead don't care. It's the living who should be fearful.
My inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
The Magister's jaw is tight.
What? Well, do you stop wasting my time then? When, not if, and you'll see for yourself in time. Those tinkerers all look the same, scruffy gold. Desertions? What do you know about desertions? This miserable town has too many gossip mongers. But they're right. But they slip away in the night, taking supplies. Cowards and traitors all... Bellwether, I need those reports, damn it.
Right away.
Surrounded by incompetence, I deserve a better posting. Elsa, my inkwell is
今回はここまでにします。お疲れ様でした。